600 miles. That is the number I want you to keep in your head today. That is the total driving range of the SUV standing right behind me. We are looking at a massive 3-row family hauler that can theoretically drive from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City on a single tank of gas. This is the all-new, next-generation 2027 Kia Telluride Hybrid.
For years, the Telluride was the king of the segment, but it had one major weakness. It was thirsty. The V6 was smooth, but you paid for it at the pump. With this new generation, Kia has deleted the V6 entirely and replaced it with this, a turbo hybrid powertrain. But is this just an eco-compliance car, or is it actually the better performance option? And what do you lose by going green? Let's dig into the details. First, let's talk about the design, because usually, hybrids look like science projects. Thankfully, Kia didn't do that here. This HEV looks just as boxy and commanding as the pure gas version. It adopts the opposites united design language. You have this broad, flat hood and a high-gloss grille framed by vertical headlamps. It is aggressive. It looks like it wants to punch a hole in the wind, which is ironic because they actually worked hard to make it slippery.
See those flush door handles on the side? They pop out when you approach.
They look cool, sure, but they also help bring the drag coefficient down to 0.30. That is impressive for a brick, and it helps with that highway mileage. However, I have to mention the downside. If you live in the snowbelt, flush handles can sometimes freeze shut. It is something to keep in mind.
The dimensions have grown. The wheelbase is now 116.9 inches, and the total length is just under 200 inches. It is a big vehicle. If you opt for the X Pro trim on the hybrid, which you can do, you get 18-inch wheels with all-terrain tires and a lifted 9.1 inches of ground clearance. I love that Kia didn't force the hybrid to be a city-only street tire model. You can still get the rugged gear. Moving to the interior, this is what Kia calls a dreamer's sanctuary, and honestly, it feels like one. You are greeted by a curved, wraparound display housing dual 12.3-inch screens. The materials are top-notch, using wood-based textures and Syntex upholstery. It feels premium. But let's talk about comfort, because hybrids are often noisy. Not this one. Kia added a new noise, vibration, and harshness package with triple door seals and thicker glass. Combined with the electric motor start, this cabin is dead silent. You have available relaxation seats in the front with leg rests, and for the first time, the third row is heated. Finally, the passengers in the way back aren't treated like second-class citizens. However, we have to talk about the trade-offs in utility, because batteries have to go somewhere. In the gas model, you have 22.3 cubic feet of space behind the third row. In this hybrid, that drops to 21.3 cubic feet. You lose exactly 1 cubic foot of space, and you lose the underfloor storage dividers that the gas model has. Is it a deal breaker? Probably not, but it is a compromise. You still get a total of roughly 87 cubic feet with all seats down, which is massive. Now, let's get to the heart of this beast, the powertrain. This is where the magic happens. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired with a 1.65 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery and an electric motor. Here is the headline: power. The old V6 had 291 horsepower. This hybrid, it pushes 329 horsepower. The old V6 had 262 pound-feet of torque. This hybrid, it cranks out 339 pound-feet. That is a massive jump of 77 pound-feet of torque. What does that mean for you? It means this is actually the performance choice. When you merge on the highway, that instant electric torque fills in the gaps before the turbo spools up. It feels punchy. It feels fast. Power is routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, I have to be critical here. The standard gas model gets an 8-speed automatic. The hybrid 6-speed is generally fine, but you might feel the shifts a little more, and it isn't quite as seamless as the 8-speed at high highway cruising speeds. But it is vastly better than the CVTs you find in some competitors. Then there is the efficiency. Kia estimates this powertrain delivers 35 miles per gallon combined.
For a vehicle of this size, that is revolutionary. To get 329 horsepower and still hit 35 miles per gallon is the best of both worlds.
But there is another bad thing you need to know about: towing. If you tow a boat or a camper, listen up.
The standard gas Telluride is rated to tow 5,000 pounds. This hybrid model is derated to 4,500 pounds. That 500-pound difference might not seem like much, but it could be the difference between towing your toys safely and being overweight. If towing is your priority, stick to the gas model. However, the hybrid gets some cool exclusive tech. It has something called Electronic Dynamic Torque Vectoring Control, or EDTVC. It uses the electric motor to brake wheels individually to help you corner better. It actually handles sharper than the gas model because of this.
Also exclusive to the hybrid is Stay Mode. This is brilliant. It uses the hybrid battery to run your climate control, radio, and cabin lights for up to 20 minutes without the gas engine turning on. If you are waiting to pick up kids at school or just hanging out at a campsite, you can sit in air-conditioned comfort without idling the engine and polluting the air. Safety is comprehensive. You have 10 airbags, including a new front center airbag. You get Highway Driving Assist 2 for semi-autonomous lane changes. But be warned about the rear occupant alert. It uses radar now. If you leave a sleeping kid or a pet in the back, the car will honk, flash lights, and blow up your phone with notifications. It is super safe, but if it glitches or is too sensitive, it is going to drive you crazy.
So what about the price? We don't have official numbers yet, but the 2027 Telluride will arrive in Q1 of 2026. Hybrids always command a premium. If a standard loaded Telluride is around $55,000, you can expect this hybrid to add another $1,500 to $2,000 on top of that. You are likely looking at a $60,000 vehicle for a fully loaded X-Pro hybrid.
So here is the verdict. The 2027 Telluride Hybrid is arguably the better SUV in almost every way compared to the gas version. You get significantly more power, significantly more torque, and vastly better fuel economy. The trade-offs are a slightly lower towing capacity, a tiny loss in cargo space, and a 6-speed transmission instead of an 8-speed.
For 95% of families, the hybrid is the one to buy. The 35 miles per gallon rating changes the math on owning a large SUV. It turns a gas-guzzling guilty pleasure into a sensible daily driver. But I want to know if you agree. Is the extra power and efficiency worth losing 500 pounds of towing capacity? And would you trust a turbo hybrid 4-cylinder over a naturally aspirated V6 for long-term reliability? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to hear what you think about this powertrain shift. Thanks for watching, and drive safe.